Hello friends, Koolio here. Now before we start this video, I just want to let you know that you can have a chance at winning a free skin from me. Now in order to get a chance to win a free skin, all you need to do is subscribe to the channel, like this video, and then comment down below your in-game name and what skin you want, as long as it's under 500 vouchers. Also, just let you guys know that this is only for the EU servers and the NA servers in the future. Alright, thanks friends, now let's get back to the video. Hello friends, my name is Koolio and welcome back to the channel. So guys, I'm going to put together a list of the top 5 best tanks in Arena of Valor. Now when I specify tanks, I went through the list of both the main class tanks and the subclass tanks and kind of mushed them all together and really just like looked all over the internet to try to find out which were the best tanks. There is a lot of debate on the internet, who's better than who. You know, is this character better because he can do a lot more damage, or is this character better because he can absorb more damage? And so sitting down and looking at this list, I decided to solely focus on which characters can sustain the most damage, peel the damage away from their teammates, as well as slowing down the enemies and concentrating the attacks solely on themselves. So this list is really focusing solely on them being a tank and being able to absorb damage and be able to help their teammates out in any kind of situation. Now these characters have stun abilities, these characters have high defense, high health, anything that can help them slow down the enemy's attacks, protect their allies, and keep the fight going. Now this list has actually took me quite a while to put together, and I had a lot of decisions in it where I moved some characters, removed some other characters, and I just know somebody's gonna be mad because I didn't put their favorite character in there. Now this is more of a preference list, but I also want to state that I try to be as least biased as I possibly could when putting this list together. Also, I don't really want to put it in order of like, you know, worst to best, because certain players can play characters better than other characters, you know, but obviously there are characters that are definitely better than other characters. But I'm just saying that in certain situations, characters can play better than their counterparts that are higher up in tiers and stuff. So let's start the list off with actually one of my favorite characters and one of the coolest characters in the game that I think personally, and that is ARDUIN the Spirit. Now the reason why I decided to put ARDUIN on this list is mainly due to his rend ability as well as his Bloodlust passive. Now when ARDUIN's HP falls below 50%, ARDUIN will enter a Bloodlust mode for 8 seconds. While in Bloodlust mode, ARDUIN restores 2% of his max HP when his abilities or normal attacks damage enemies. Bloodlust has a 60-second cooldown, and ARDUIN will enter Bloodlust mode again immediately after the cooldown if his HP is below 50% of the time. Now that actually helps him out a lot when engaging in team fights, because he is constantly arcing with his rend ability, hitting multiple enemies, getting that maximum HP back. Now moving on to the rend ability, one of the best things about this is if you actually hit an enemy hero, you can activate it again to knock the enemies into the air for 1 second. So essentially a stun towards those enemies, making it so it's harder for them to attack your teammates, as well as slowing them down and making it so it's harder for them to kill you personally. Now also a little bit of a bonus as well is his second ability, Undying Protector, which gives him a 12% shield based off of his maximum HP, and he already starts off with a pretty good amount of HP, so you're going to want to kind of focus heavily on, you know, increasing his health points so that he can, you know, last in fights a little bit longer using his Undying Protector, as well as he's got a lot of abilities that deal damage out as well as his ultimate ability, Cole, does have a stun ability and an escape ability just in case he gets a little bit over his head. Now the next one I want to talk about, and I'm a little biased on this, I did want to let you guys know that because I love this character so much. In fact, I actually really like all the characters on this list, so I can't really say that I'm biased because I pretty much love all the characters in the entire game. So the next one on the list is ASTRID the Indomitable. Now I actually really like her as a early game tank, and mainly due to her passive ability. Now when ASTRID's HP falls below 80%, she gains a shield that absorbs 450 HP for 4 seconds. The shield effect has a 24-second cooldown and will be reactivated instantly when ASTRID takes damage again. While the shield is active, it deals 125 magic damage to surrounding enemies, and the cooldown is reduced by 3 seconds every time ASTRID hits an enemy hero with an ability or a normal attack, and by 1.5 seconds every time she hits an enemy minion or monster. Now I really like this passive ability because it activates so frequently, giving her that extra shield and that extra a little bit of damage towards the enemies as well. Also, her ultimate ability is extremely strong because you can't actually stop it. She's immune to all damage for 2 seconds. I actually need to go through and double test to see if you can actually stun her. It's been a while to see that, but I'm pretty sure you can, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But another thing that's really cool about her ultimate ability is that when it is activated, if the enemy's HP is higher than Astrid's HP, then the ability also will stun the enemy for a single second, which is incredibly useful, especially in team fights. Now, if you jump in a team fight, she can actually last for quite a bit of time, and then activating that dire blow gives her that 2-second gap to either let your teammates escape while also being able to damage the enemy heroes and hopefully be able to stun them as well, because you can kind of peel the damage away from your teammates because everyone's going to try to like focus on you, and then you can stun them because your HP is going to be a little bit lower. It's just like a really nice combo to have, especially in team fights. The next one I want to talk about is GILDUR the Gilded. Now, he's actually a really cool tank in the fact that he is a mage slash tank. Now, the reason why I decided to put him on this list is he has a lot of stuns. He has an ability where he will launch gold at an enemy hero and stunning them while doing magical damage. Now, a lot of the other tanks in the game focus heavily on building up their physical defenses, and so it's nice to have this character that actually deals magical damage to be able to affect those other tanks. But this ability has such a low cooldown that he's able to activate it pretty frequently in team fights while also being able to kind of control the enemy and kind of push them in early game and in mid game. And then his ultimate ability, which I really enjoy as well, is a 3.5 second, essentially a stun on anyone around him. So jumping into a team fight and activating that and stunning the enemies is really great. Now be careful because he can be stunned out of it, and if you accidentally activate the ability, tap it, move, whatever, it will deactivate the ability. But if you can get that timed just right, you can affect a lot of enemies, slowing them down, stunning them, causing damage at the exact same time, allowing some of your marksmen or mages to be able to attack them as well, or even help them escape in dire situations. Now, the next one I want to talk about is like the epitome of when it comes to tanks, and that is THANE, the Protector. I mean, that's in his name, the Protector. Now, his passive ability is incredibly useful because when Thane's HP falls below 30%, he regenerates 24% of his maximum HP over 6 seconds. That's a lot. That's a pretty long time to regenerate his health, on top of some other healing abilities. If you have a support character falling next to him, it's not easy to get Thane's health down to 0%. As well as he actually has 2 stuns, or 2 knocks in the air, I should say, with his Valiant Charge ability where he will charge forward and the final hit will also knock enemies into the air. And then his Avalon's Flurry, he will also knock enemies into the air and slow their movement speed by 90% for 2 seconds, which is incredibly useful if you need to protect your allies or stop an assassin for trying to gank your mage or your support character. He is a character that is just charging all over the field, trying to protect his teammates. He's got 2 charge abilities along with his ultimate, which also deals 15% of the target's lost HP as physical damage, while also receiving a 20% damage reduction and cannot be interrupted while charging this ability. Not only can he charge into team fights, dealing damage, making it even harder for people to take him down, but he can't even be interrupted while doing so. Now, the last character I want to talk about is CRESHT. Now, there's 2 reasons why I decided to pick CRESHT on this list, and it comes down to his ultimate as well as his aquatic shield ability. Not only can his aquatic shield ability be used to help and protect your teammates when he's not in his metamorphosis state, but it also shields himself. Now, talking about his metamorphosis, which is kind of like the whole reason why I wanted to put him on this list, is it gives him a huge shield and makes him incredibly huge and affects all of his abilities, being able to do damage, be able to knock back his enemies, and even stun them if you're able to hit them with his ultimate. Now, I have seen games where CRESHT is surrounded by the entire enemy team and it is taking them so long to take him down. He is a character, once his ultimate is activated, that he takes a significant amount of damage and is able to peel the damage away from everyone else because everyone's focusing solely on CRESHT. You can push back anyone that's charging towards your towers. You can even push people into your towers. If you can play CRESHT solely focused around his ultimate, he is an extremely strong tank and honestly can take a whole lot of damage, and seriously, he is ridiculously scary on the battlefield. If you have somebody that's playing really good CRESHT, no one wants to mess with him, especially when he activates his ultimate. Well guys, that is my list of the top 5 best tanks in Arena of Valor. Now I'm sure some of you guys have your own opinions. Let me know down below which is your favorite tank, which one you think is the best. You know, maybe are there some tanks on this list that shouldn't be there? Who should I replace them with? Go ahead and let me know what you guys think. Also guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more Arena of Valor videos. Also join me for the live streams that I try to do daily on YouTube as well on Twitch. And guys, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to hit the like button, and I will see you guys next time.